Good afternoon. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us for Josh at the Movies today. Congrats on your film's Tribeca debut. Was yesterday the first time that you guys all were able to see the film together? And what was it like watching it with an audience?
We saw it on Thursday night, but it was lovely to ever sit with an audience and see how it was received. And also because Simon and I hadn't seen it, and I think Del and Sam had, but it was really nice to see how it came together.
Yeah, I'd seen a couple of earlier rough cuts, not rough cuts, but before it was finished and polished. And we were both sent like a link to watch before we came, but neither of us wanted to see it on a computer the first time, because you get that it's so impactful. We knew the story, but we also
hadn't really seen how everything was put into place.
So to have that impact, the visual and the sound design and all of that on a cinema screen was awesome.
Yeah, chills.
Oh, that's great to hear. I'm glad. What was some of the audience reactions? Did anything surprise you from people's reactions?
Yeah, I think obviously the film content is quite heavy, so there are going to be different reactions from everyone, but overall it's been quite positive. I think it's touched a lot of people that have seen it so far. I think we had someone come up to us last night, and she was a Black woman, and she said that it was really impactful for her to be able to see a white privileged woman have the same thing happen to her, and she said that she felt really empowered by that. And there's just been a lot of people who have been really heard.
So I just wanted to let you guys know, going forward, we're pretty much open with spoilers. We usually do this in our interviews, so feel free to go into whatever details you want to go into about the film. First question for Julia: how difficult did you find it to be making the transition from television and shorts to feature-length filmmaking? And what was your favorite part about playing Blaze?
Well, I think the hours were just longer, and obviously because I was, and I still am, under the age of being not a minor in the film industry, there were only 9-hour days, so we were working really hard and really quickly because obviously it was kind of on a time crunch. But yeah, I think it was longer days, but having such a supportive cast and crew, it was honestly really fun, and we had a great time. And I think one of my favorite parts of playing Blaze was just all of her little mannerisms and really everything in her whole imaginary world. I think I got to go in before we started filming and just add little details to the room, little pictures, and paint dragons and just name all the Serengami figures. And I think just being able to be so immersed in her world of imagination was really, really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
She was amazing.
She is amazing. I said yesterday, what was it, Thursday? You were going to be a star after this. After more people see this, you're amazing in this movie. Yes, definitely. Just wanted to say, so Blaze is at an age where she's beginning to discover sexuality. However, in the film, she forcibly asks questions about bondage, and even traumatic crime scene photos are shown to her. How much do you think this will affect Blaze going into adulthood and moving forward?
Well, I think that in the last frame of the film, for anyone who stayed and saw it, we see Zephyr lying in her bedroom in that pool of his own blood, and I think it's a very symbolic shot. It's like this is her childhood, and she's let that go, and in killing Zephyr, she had to let all of that go and move on and become a woman. And I think every part of this film is just her going up a little more, and it's oddly specific, but that scene where she has the conversation with the boy in the hospital ward, his name is C. The shot after is Zephyr lying on her bed, and I think that every time she, becomes more of a woman and does more adult and transitional things, she loses a bit of Zephyr, who really is her childhood self. And I think that in slaying him, she kind of fully becomes Blaze, and that was the little part of, her confidence or her womanhood that she needed to, get through and just, to advance in her life. But I think that this is, as her therapist said, something that will echo through her whole life. But she's a strong girl. She's got a great dad. She's going to be fine, I think.
Headphones seem to be a source of comfort for Blaze. What was the process behind her choices of music? We were assuming it was carefully curated.
Yeah, Del was really the mastermind behind a lot of the music. We listened to a lot of it during pre-production, filming, and even after. But yeah, her headphones are, you know, quite a safe space for her. She puts them on, you know, just blocks out the world, I guess. You know, Dell and I spent time in pre-production decorating the headphones with little stickers and everything. But yeah, I think that her playlists are so funny when you freeze it on that frame of songs Dad would hate, and you know, she loves her dad, but it's that little bit of rebellion, and I think it's music is such a big part of the film, and you know, every song has been, as you notice, so very intricately chosen, and you know, it's so specific to every single song, and it's, I think sound is a really impactful part of cinema, and I think that for this film it was really nice to use.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
So Simon, we adored the relationship between Blaze and her father in the film. What was your relationship like with Julia on set? It seems like you guys have a really cute relationship right now still. So, and did you take her under your wing during filmmaking?
Oh, yeah. I mean, in the audition process when we read together, it was kind of like there was a connection immediately when we first just looked at each other. And, you know, that's, I've been working for many years, and sometimes that can be, sometimes you have to manifest that connection a lot of the times, but it was just sort of like easy straight away, and you sort of could sense that. And so we were doing like it was a pretty heavy scene. We did a few different scenes, didn't we? But I just knew, you know, and I'd read with a few girls. And when Julia and I did our first scene together, I just knew straight away in my gut that was, that we'd be able to make that feel very authentic. Also, I could see straight away that Julia had this facility to access something in her that it's really not something that you can kind of make, you know. She has an ability, and it's a gift to be able to access that. And I knew that was there. I knew straight away that was there in her. But then watching Julia on the set, because filming is such a technical process, and the elements of making a film are so technical that it can be grinding, and sometimes that sort of spirit and that soul can be diminished in the process. But the awesome thing about this young woman is that it just grew and grew and grew, and she just kept accessing, and it kept getting stronger and more potent and more powerful. And for me, playing a parent, being a human being, being older, to see that grow in her is beautiful, and was beautiful, and it's just great to watch. So yes, that kind of is like a father-daughter thing, I guess.
That's okay.
I do feel very protective of Julia, and I feel really proud of her too. So I'm getting a bit teary.
Oh, it's so cute.
It's definitely like a vulnerability, a power that is really captured on screen, I think, and it really bleeds through for sure. Simon, I had one more question for you. Do you think that being a single father dealing with a sexual issue puts a divide between Luke and Blaze, with Luke unable to fully help Blaze or understand her point of view?
Yeah, I mean, I think for the Luke character, that's his sort of central conundrum, is like, you know, feeling these, you know, and it's kind of in a lot of ways, and a big sort of theme of the film is about feeling feelings but not knowing how to deal with them or cope with them. And I think that's a cathartic nature, not just, I mean, my character's just one little aspect of it, but that's his struggle too, is he's feeling these things but he doesn't know how to fix it. He can't fix it.
Yeah.
And I think if you step back, the bigger picture with this film is, I think this is why a lot of people, it does resonate and it has been impactful with the audiences that we've experienced it with, is because it does help express things that you can't necessarily articulate. Feelings, you know, through this magic swirl of imagery and sound and music and cinema, it helps express this sort of unsort of knowable or unsort of definable feeling inside. And I think that's powerful, and that's where, you know, I'm really, that's where I'm really proud of being a part of this movie, is it does sort of give a voice, it gives an outlet, a sense of rage, a sense of relief to those kind of feelings.
Definitely. And I do think it's rare that we see such a young lead dealing with such a topic like this. And I'm sure there's so many different people who have dealt with something like this, and it's just usually, I guess, not approached in this way just because I don't know, it's just like a hard thing to deal with. So I just want to talk about the dragon for a minute because it is stunning. We were completely blown away by the attention to detail. The animation used was jaw-dropping, and we wanted to know how much of the fantasy sequences were practical versus being entirely digital.
I'll tell you now, majority of them were practical, and the entire cast and crew were covered in glitter for like weeks. The dragon Zephyr is
It's so true. I
like,
forgot about that. I was like
glitter
getting it.
for
I
weeks.
wasn't
Like,
even
I
in
was
those
washing my
scenes.
hair and it would come out in the shower. Things. But the dragon was entirely practical aside from the eye animation and the scene where she does slay her dragon. There was a white kind of cast figure, but the wings and kind of the movement was the majority CGI. But the sequences, especially in the flashing kind of edited sequences, I was on ropes, and if you do see in the flashing scene, there was a scene where I did get on the back of the dragon and rode it, but kind of had a never-ending story moment. But yeah, a lot of it was practical. There was a lot of makeup from a very talented, makeup designer, Rose Saffioti, and there was just a lot went into it, and we really wanted to get as much physically done as we could, so that we could just add like more fun with CGI. And obviously, my eyes are used in a lot of the sequences on the cicadas and in a lot of shots, so we used that, and that was animation. But yeah, the heart that we used at the wedding and the cicada that Blaze was embracing was all like physical.
The big hands.
The big hands. That was a really funny day. They were brought out, and Simon was like, "How?" And it works. But I just slid them on like gloves and just couldn't move for like an hour. It was really.
But what's really interesting when you see the film now, like having seen all of those things practical, even like the animation and the CG stuff that helps with puppetry, it feels seamless. So it's still, Dell's kept a real handmade quality to all of those elements, which I think is just really, she's so detailed.
She's so detailed, and like everything there was so many beads and buttons and everything just sewn on, because for Dell, it was obviously such a personal film, and for everyone we wanted to have that real, like, I guess, childish quality of everything being handmade
and innocence to it.
Real innocence.
Juxtapose what's going on in life.
And that's why like a lot of the stuff wasn't changed too much with CGI, because and crawling through guts was also an experience.
I love that. I love that so much. It's my favorite. It's my favorite part of it.
There was a tube on set, and it was full of glitter, and I had the bun on my head, and at one point it got stuck on one of the guts. So I was and it was glitter and everything, and like crazy. And there was a cut through the dragon chest that I did pull through in the studio, and it was amazing to be part of something that was so practical, and being able to get involved and not have to, I guess, do that without it and imagine what it would be like. I really got to do it with everything. There was a lot of blood, like a lot,
and super impressive because it's a very low budget film.
Yeah, I can't believe that, because everything looks so great. Like, just visually, every 5 seconds, there's something super unique and that I've never seen before. It's just, I don't know, it's amazing.
Yeah, and the puppet Zephyr was amazing, because we had these beautiful puppeteers who were just so lovely, and they really gave what was an inanimate object that a lot of people on set did not view as such, but made it really real and like a little dragon. It was so cute with like the tongue licks and the move, and the eyelashes would be battered, and it was so sweet. And it was amazing to not have to, I guess, feel as if I was speaking with him in the presence of something that wasn't real. Like Zephyr really felt real in every single scene.
Yeah, my daughter Stella. She's in her 20s, and she saw the film with me in the first semester, and but she was saying to me yesterday, she was so moved by the dragon. She goes, I can't believe how affected I was by that relationship with the dragon. And I was like, oh, that's really great, because it was always such an ambitious thing in the script, and when we were shooting it, You know, it was like, oh, is the dragon going to work? Is the dragon going to work?
Yeah.
And it's so nice to hear that feedback that she was really affected by the dragon. It's beautiful.
I think, like you said, it definitely was seamless because I couldn't really tell between what was, when there was any CGI, it was everything was very seamless and flowed together, and it almost gave me like a Where the Wild Things Are kind of feel, but approaching more like, mature subject matter, but definitely that kind of feeling to it. Piggybacking off of that question, what do you think Blaze's obsession with figurines ultimately means? And is her reaction to break the kangaroos after they kiss reflective of her fear of closeness to others?
Well, obviously, not obviously, but Dell, I think initially one of the green dogs, which we called the Kevins, all of the ceramic figures had names, but the green dogs were called Kevins, and she found one of them in like a little vintage dog shop, and she found another, and then that kind of thing just started. She knows more about that than I do, but I think everything is so arranged, and when her father takes it all down from the ceiling and just throws it in the cabinet, it's as if, I guess, her army has come down and her walls have come down, like that kind of messy order, which is like so important to her. And just another amazing aspect of her imagination, because really her whole bedroom is her space, and so that's why she takes out her headphones and her string, because it's like bringing parts of that world with her when she can't bring it with her, which is why in a mental hospital it's dying, and everything was kind of deteriorating and getting really quite sad. But yeah, I think that when she did break the kangaroos, seeing that they were still kissing was really, I guess, obviously symbolic, but very important for her to see that even if something's broken, it can still be beautiful. But yeah, I think that she really likes things. Blaze is very much a physical person, a tactile person. So that's why obviously her dragon is so detailed and embellished, and her room is just such a creative place, and being able to shoot in that most days was so amazing. It was completely transformed. It was really just 4 walls. They made the room entirely in the studio. It was just 4 walls. It was painted.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bed and everything. It was so amazing to be able to completely construct that from scratch. But yeah.
Well, I mean, this is not the next question, but did you take anything home with you from the figurines? Because there were so many of them. I'm just curious.
I didn't take any figurines, to my great disappointment, but I did take several things home from set. I took a lot of Blaze's clothes because it was cool. I took a lot of the pictures on her walls.
Actually, I think I got this shirt.
I was just thinking, we took a lot of stuff home, and I took pictures from her walls. I think one of Zeffy's feathers, it was an orange one with a peacock bit on his head, actually fell off on the last day that we were filming. So I took that home, and it was in like my trailer for the rest of the shooting.
That's adorable.
Yeah, and then I have worn nail polish because I always had green nail polish on my toes. On my hands, like
you had painted my nail.
Yeah.
Like when we were the camera test.
Yes.
You painted my pinky
shiny
pink with glitter, and it was like that for like a month after.
Yeah, because there was always. I digress, but the string and the nail polish was so like cool because it changes every time. Like I would have someone who's applying the string come up to me and they go, "Okay, what color are you feeling today?" And we go red and we go blue, and based on the scene, and it really is an important part, and it's representative of imagination. And the nail polish was always on and off for different scenes and continuity and changing, but it was such a rainbow world. It was so cool because it is not often that in I guess limited experience that I have to come across such a genuinely beautiful and colourful film, and again so practical. Like there were very few things really at all that were not physically there that you could embrace,
tactile, you could touch and
play with and form relationships with.
It was like that bedroom was just like this kind of like craft store.
It was a playground.
It was just a playground of arts and crafts.
Yeah, and it was just amazing. And there were all these little dragon analogies everywhere. I still have the white dragon that she put in her mouth in the corner.
Wait, Josh has one of them. Found it.
I love that. I love that moment.
Yeah, I
So
still
much.
have the white one that I put in my fingers and burnt him with. I still have it. It's hanging into my wall.
Yeah,
It's in
cool.
my room, just chilling on my.
Very cool. So makeup and styling, as we said before, are paramount to the film. What inspired the idea to have almost everything glimmering with rhinestones, including the dead body, and glitter everywhere?
You have to meet Del.
You have to be there. I think, obviously, yeah, ask Del more about, I guess, the physical, artistic, and her team really made those, I think, cement they were, molds of bodies for all the spells. But the makeup, there was some moments that I had glitter all in my eyes and I just couldn't see, but it looked cool, so it's fine. But yeah, I think there were a lot of them. It's like the blood volcano. I was drenched in blood at 11 o'clock at night and black glitter on my eyes. So it was just a combination of everything really. Really, it's just a smoothie in my eyes of blood and glitter. But yeah, I think all the makeup was.
Welcome to showbiz, kid.
Yeah. There were lots of different looks, obviously, and I think that, especially in pre-production and we were doing rehearsals, we kind of just went crazy. We did like everything, and there were so many looks we ended up using. Like at one point, my face was completely pink with glitter, and it was, and the gems on my face and the eyes, and they are all representative, where she's come from or what she felt at that moment. Because obviously the eyes with everyone in the courtroom and afterwards, it was really cool to be able to have that many looks to do and be able to have also that much freedom, because I was allowed to be involved with it as well, rather than just, sit in a chair and have it done. So it was really lovely to be so involved with this makeup.
The whole thing sounds very immersive. Sounds like from the second you got on set, you're already kind of immersed in the world, which is amazing. I know a lot of movies that aren't like that today. So gotta act against a wooden stick and stuff. But so I have one more question for you guys. The dragon's death in the conclusion can symbolize a variety of things. I'm assuming not having it fly away was purposeful. Why was it so important for it to be a bloody, explosive release for the audience and the character of Blaze?
It's a big one.
It's a big question.
You've got it.
Okay, yeah, I got this. I think the explosion of the blood could be representative of all of her emotions and her anger and her rage and her real sadness about what happened, just coming out in the final release of just slaying Zephy. There was a lot of blood involved, obviously, but I think that it's, even as I said, the shot of him flying at the end, just in his own blood, in her childhood bedroom, was really symbolic. And Del will expand more on this, but it's really symbolic of just the childhood's there, like it's there, but she's chosen to move on and I guess let it go and be okay with what's happened. Or at least that's the way I feel she would be. But I think the big explosion of blood was so important because it's as I said, the release. It's just everything that's just coming out, and she made that decision to slay him. It's so sad to film and to see, because slaying your dragon is not really the most fun. But it was something that she came to terms with having to do, and there was a beautiful mutual understanding between her and Zephy. It wasn't, picked up, it was definitely there. But yeah.
So on a lighter note, we always love to close with this one question. Do each of you have any upcoming projects you want to tease or things that you're excited for that are in the pipeline?
I'm going to do a series. I can't say much about it, but I'm really excited.
You can't say
I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed to say.
Doesn't matter. That's all. That's all I need to know.
I've got a series coming up. I'm going to do.
Mum's there. Look, Mum's popping.
Exciting.
I go back to Australia and I start shooting a movie at Cooper PD about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, very cool.
Awesome.
Another little Australian film.
Those are always the best. Well, thank you guys so much for chatting with us today. Really
Pleasure.
appreciate it.
Love that you guys loved the movie, and I read, I think it was your review, Josh.
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
review.
my review.
Thank you for
Thank you.
writing such a great review. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. So yeah, I really love. I actually can't wait to watch the movie again now because I want to look for all the little details and stuff in it.
Yeah. Well, little movies like this. I mean, this movie's powerful, and you know, I'm super proud of this film, and I just hope I just want this movie to reach as many people as it can, and you know, so I'm grateful. We're all very grateful for that sort of positive, putting positive energy out there around the movie. Thank you.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's one of my
See you guys.
favorites. I think we've seen like over 35 films already. I don't even know anymore. And this is like top 2, top 3 for me. So
Oh,
you guys are amazing.
Yeah.
yeah, thank you so much.
See you guys.
It was
Have a
lovely.
great one, guys.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye.
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 Bye.